Hello. Greetings. Excuse my voice. I feel a lot better, but my voice is still horrible. As part of a new paradigm that I mentioned about 2 weeks ago, since none of us in the world essentially can trust the media anymore, if we could be fair and honest with each other and not provide, Chicken Little, the sky is falling type of information, but hardcore empirical facts and data, and then we can, gather information so that we're able to be aware of what's actually going on around us. I had over a 3-hour live stream tonight, and I've been paying attention, to the energy crisis going on in much of Europe. Norway seems to be safe. France has, of course, a lot of nuclear. Everything seems to be fine in Norway, Finland, France. But I was actually more shocked by the information that I got from Dutch, and especially Germans, and Brits tonight than I have been in possibly over 2 years. I mean, just absolutely flabbergasted and shocked. The stuff that I've been hearing going on about, which is true and has been confirmed to me by Germans, that people are, collecting, dead wood in the forest, to heat their places, is of course if you have a flat, which, I don't know how many places in Germany can actually burn wood, especially if you lived in a flat. People are collecting wood, and the prices that I'm actually hearing, I was so shocked tonight, so much information from Dutch, and I hear they're protesting in Prague. I actually found information on that. A lot of stuff is being hidden. Just as a side note, and you can go on Avi Yemeni's channel, he's an Aussie. He tried to actually go to New Zealand to cover the protests against Jabsinda and Jabsinda's government. And she did something technically illegal, supposedly, and basically confirmed that to keep him out of the country so he could not cover the facts. And I read, just as a side note, this is important since it just popped into my head, when I was really sick about 3 days ago, I laid there and I read well over 1,000 comments. I mean, I must have read them for, oh Lord, at least 3 hours on 4 different videos from Kiwis, from New Zealanders. I hear Kiwis or so, and I was talking to an Aussie today that lives in Kentucky. She used to live in New Zealand for a few years. She's an old lady with red hair, and she said, yeah, the Kiwis are very, happy-go-lucky sort of, average, everyday blokes, kind of like America used to have back in the 1960s. I was reading thousands, literally, no exaggeration, comments from Kiwis saying that they're mad as hell, they're upset, they're depressed, they're disgusted. This stuff, Avi Yemeni had a guy, an associate of his or a friend of his, who's already in New Zealand. He's an Aussie, I think. And he was doing a video with Avi, and something like he couldn't leave the country or he couldn't get back in. Anyway, the government is actively blocking, the fact that Kiwis, and I know I was reading thousands and thousands of comments from real Kiwis, undeniably so, at least 90% of them anyway, said they were Kiwis. Mad as hell, depressed, upset, disgusted, on and on and on. None of this is making the news. I'm hearing stuff out of Europe, Germany, UK, that is way worse than anything I could pull up on a news feed. I'm asking Europeans, I read every comment, and other people read comments too. If Europeans could actually report in on, like, here some Germans are resorting to cold showers and air drying laundry, Russian energy crisis. I don't care about discussing politics or Russia one way or the other. I mean, I know how all that interplays. Of course, the government's blaming, wagging the finger off, one way or another. I know for a fact, of course, that a lot of this energy crisis, there's tons of energy out there. What's going on and all the garbage of politicians behind that, I'm really not interested in discussing. I just want to know from Europeans, from you directly there, what's going on. Yeah, that electricity prices are skyrocketing past 600%. I had Germans, confirmed Germans tonight, many of them, tell me horror stories. I heard horror stories about the cost of wood, way more radically expensive than I could possibly imagine. Information came out yesterday, that the United States, 35% of Americans cannot cover basic needs, gas, water, electric, food, just basic stuff you need to like get to work and feed your damn family and, excuse my language, feed your family and, keep the lights on. 35%. That is an astronomically high number. The stuff, I'm asking Europeans, please comment below. I know some countries are doing fine, and France. The stuff, I know that Germany is also too reporting, I forget, 60 billion or something, some huge figure, to offset the energy price skyrocket, but a bunch of Germans have told me that that only covers 1 month. So this, the gas reserve that Germany's stockpiled 85% gas reserves of what they're capable of stockpiling, that and the money offset to keep the prices slightly down, it's only going to last 1 month. That's, I mean, winter lasts in Deutschland a little bit longer than that, obviously so. I couldn't believe the shocking things I was hearing, and it really does take a lot to shock me. I'm not interested in fear-mongering, just like hardcore, empirical, demonstrable, objective facts like, hey, this is what's happening to me, this is what's going on. I am an information sponge, and I don't mean that jokingly. I am an information sponge. I love being an information sponge. I can process a tremendous amount of data and collate it. I'm not interested in like Chicken Little, the sky is falling sort of stuff. And I'm not interested in the politics, and we all know how evil all that stuff is, and who's behind all of this stuff, and we all know the entities behind all this garbage. I just want to know what's actually happening. And the stuff that I heard in live stream absolutely popped my cork. I couldn't believe it. It was shocking. So, honest request to you Europeans, Deutschlanders, Dutch, heard from much Dutch, French, Swedes, Brits especially, I know a lot of Brits. If you could please post that info in the comments, and I'll read them, and other people will read them, and that way we can have a new paradigm for informing each other, not putting spin and trash and propaganda, and because you just can't get honest information anymore. And some people suffer from the issue is that they'll get information, but they can't weed out, obvious nonsense and propaganda and trash. And that's another matter, of course. But any way you could help with information on that, because I'm shocked. It's way worse than I thought. And that live stream was just completely, it was incredible, shocking. So thank you very much, and have a lovely week. I'm still recovering from the coof. That's why my voice sounds this way. Thank you. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.